What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Easy Convo. I'm Zaid. I'm joined by my co-host Emmanuel Bird. Champ, how are we doing today?
Well, feeling good, man. We was just talking a little bit off the air here. First, female guest with us, as you guys can see. So we're very excited about this one. Um,
First
this
female guest. First female guest.
make
So
some
that,
noise.
there's some snaps for that. Throw some snaps.
Like we said, Kennedy. We're not going to go through your whole resume of your basketball career because obviously, that would take a little bit to do. But we are sitting here with a Creighton women's basketball player, guard Kennedy Townsend, from Park Hill High School. Her work behind the scenes, working with Creighton basketball, working with Park Hill, being representative of the Kansas City area. It speaks for itself. We're sitting here with a legitimate Kansas City, Missouri phenomenal player. Champ, you see what I'm trying to do here? You see the words I'm putting together
I
here?
saw that. That was good.
Yeah. But we're very excited for this episode, as you guys can see. We're going to talk about Kennedy's journey as a basketball player. We're going to talk about life off the court, what's happening after basketball for her. And Kennedy, we hope that this is an easy conversation for you.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Definitely.
100%.
And obviously, as E touched on, you're from Kansas City. So just to start off, why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I actually grew up in a small town in Missouri. I moved to Kansas City when I was in like fifth grade. Yeah, I went to Park Hill High School, played all 4 years there, and then was a multi-sport athlete in high school. I played softball. I have two brothers. One played collegiate baseball, one's still in high school, and both my parents are college athletes, so they it's kind of just sports has always been something that like I've grown up with. Like I can't even imagine. Like we always have sporting events on. Like we're not TV show people. Like we're just like so. It's honestly been such a crazy experience just to live out my dream playing Division I sports. And yeah, I'm just so blessed to be here at Creighton. And it's been Creighton's done so many good things for me. And graduation week's coming up, so you just get more sentimental about when stuff's coming to an end. But yeah, I've just had a great time here, and I think. Yeah, I just so grateful to have experienced all the things I have. So yeah.
Definitely. This is another snap it up moment for all of us. I think all of us stepping into a graduation stage in our life. Moving on to bigger and better things. Aid, you in law school. Kennedy will continue to touch on what you're doing with your career and things like that. But I want to go back here for a second. You mentioned moving in fifth grade from a smaller town in Missouri to the Park Hill area, which is in North Kansas City, much bigger area than small town Missouri. So can you kind of touch on, if you remember, life before moving to a bigger city?
Yeah, it was a lot more slow, a little slower paced. My dad coached football when we lived in a smaller town, so I was always around sports in that way. And then yeah, when we moved to Kansas City, my parents used to joke like, "I hope that our kids like make the varsity team." Like we were just from like little small towns, and like we're moving to this big city, but clearly we exceeded expectations that they had for us. But yeah, I mean, I just think the adjustment to sports was definitely something that was a little difficult. Just like it's like going from high school to college, like you're the best player in your small town and then you go to this big city and you're like, "Oh my God, this is crazy. Like all these girls are so good and they're huge." And like but I just think, all of those things shape you kind of into the player you are. And if you can't like go through those times of like perseverance and just having to work through stuff like that, then you don't get to the point where like we're all at today. So
Definitely. And you mentioned, sports is in the blood, family members all playing sports. When and how did your basketball journey, originally start?
yeah, well, it started. I've played basketball for as long as I can remember. It started upward basketball, and and all those people are terrible. We're like,
Hold on.
to like
Hey,
taking
hey,
super good.
if you play upward, keep grinding, bro. Keep getting it out. Everybody at upward was awful. Wow, there you go.
Yeah, we got the wristbands on the arms and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we made it past that. And then I played for yeah, I just played for some other AAU teams, and I played softball when I was growing up too. I played them both till I was in high school. I just ended up really liking basketball more. Like I just really like the competitive aspect. And if you know anything about me, I'm really like softball was not good for me. Like I was really bored and like it was just I enjoy like the competitive aspect of basketball. So yeah, I would just say when I was like a freshman in high school, I really just started taking it more serious and yeah, stopped playing softball and really focused on it. And yeah, good things ended up happening for me. So yeah.
when you talk about switching your freshman year from softball to
Yeah.
completely just basketball, you said you were kind of bored playing softball. Was this a hard transition, or were you like, okay, I'm very much excited to be done with softball. Let's go full fledged with the hoops.
It wasn't like a big decision that I felt like I made. I just kind of felt like I was like time to decide. I still played in high school, so it wasn't something where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss it so much," and like I feel like I'm choosing. So I was just like, I just kind of knew I wanted to play basketball more than softball. It just wasn't really my. I was like good at it, just like not really something I wanted to pursue like collegiately. So yeah.
She was in that outfield, Zay. She was in that outfield
Picking
picking down,
dandelions out there,
picking
listen. And
dandelions in that outfield.
like, oh no,
I couldn't do that. I've never played baseball or tried to play baseball. I just
man.
never I'd be too bored. Um, Obviously growing up, I used to work out with you with Vic back in the day,
Yeah,
and being in the Kansas City area, there's a lot of mentors and different basketball coaches in the community.
yeah.
Growing up, who were some of those mentors for you and kind of shaped the way you approach the game?
Yeah, I mean, Vic is obviously one of them. Like he definitely like demands the best out of you, and I think that's like how he shows his love for you is like he wants you to be the best player you can be. And so I think having those people to be real with you is like something that is invaluable, especially like in today's like society with like transfer portal and money and like all those things. So I think that was super important. Just like he definitely was super hard on me, which made me a lot better. And then Alonzo Williams, one of my AAU coaches, he's awesome. I mean, he would work me out for free every Saturday morning, and like he is just someone who like really invests in his players, and I think that's something that um, is really special. And I think that's kind of what I love so much about Creighton too is how much they invest in you. So I'd say those two, and then Reggie, he was our AAU director, obviously like helped me place me at Creighton. But more than anything, I'd say like my parents, my dad would rebound for me at 6 a.m. every morning and come back to the school and rebound for me. And, I mean, they just have sacrificed so much for me to like achieve my goals. So I would say props to them because without them, I'm nowhere. So yeah.
Was Pops a good rebounder? He was.
Oh yeah.
His
Oh, but
hand,
we're like fighting at the gym. We're getting in arguments. Like he's kicking me out. Like it's bad. It was bad for a while, but we got it figured out.
definitely, and I'm glad you touched on that because that kind of led me into my next question of obviously having parents that are pouring into
Mhm.
you, pouring into your siblings as athletes, and wanting
Yeah.
the best for you guys on and off the court, obviously as parents. But do you feel that your dad being a coach for football and him pushing you continuously really helped you a lot in your journey into basketball? Kind of touch on that relationship in particular.
Yeah, I mean, my dad obviously pushed me to be the best I could be, and I think, yeah, him being a football coach, he can be a little intense at times, which is really good, but also when I was younger, I maybe didn't like it as much, but yeah, I mean, I can't explain how much he like really like invested in me and my brothers too, but I mean, gosh, I have so many like during COVID we're like doing driveway workouts and he's like playing defense on me and like we're playing one on one and like I just think of so many times where we're like getting in these like huge competitive fights just because he has the same like competitive spirit and I think he definitely like gave so much to me and just pushed me to be better and I just can't thank him enough for that because even when he comes up to games now like we'll still go like shoot the night before games and he'll go rebound for me or like day before game like he'll or like day of game he'll come rebound for me and so I just think that's such a special bond that we've created and basketball like always be kind of our thing so I'm really grateful for him and he's invested money and all so much time and like he's just the best.
Man,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I think,
hey,
why when you're in the moment on it, you don't really notice it as much. When you look back on it, you realize, that was really a great time that like you really
Yeah.
cherished, really good bonding time. You mentioned earlier both your parents. I want to touch this little side note. You said your
Yeah.
parents played. What sports did they play in college, and where did they play at?
So my mom played basketball at Pittsburgh State. It's a Division II school in Southern Missouri, and then my dad played football at Missouri Southern,
Okay,
which is also a Division II school. So yeah.
but he has some basketball knowledge still, even on the
he's
football
doing-
side.
he's doing-
He's more of like a brute. Like he can't really shoot, but I mean, gosh, he really likes playing defense though. I'm like, oh my god, it's like
Hmm.
hey,
guarding.
Pops out there taped and braced, huh?
Yeah.
One of these. Give you one of these when you're driving.
What? No.
So
Right.
you touch on obviously Pops out there getting rebounds for you and things like that. Growing up, having an older brother and a younger brother, you said were you guys ever playing one on one, getting active in the driveway, things like that?
Yeah, I had to cut that short too. We Yeah, we played all the time. I mean, it got to a point my brother stopped playing. He kind of went the opposite way. So he played baseball and basketball, but he stopped playing basketball in high school to pursue playing baseball collegiately, and it would kind of so it got to a point where I could beat him, but for a while there was some really competitive games. But my little brother's quite a bit younger than us, so he still can't beat me in one-on-one even though he tries. But my older brother though, we've had some we also had to stop playing during COVID, so it yeah. Got some really heated games on the concrete. Like it was just not going in a good direction for us. So we
Definitely build some toughness.
yeah.
Man, character
Character
development 100.
Yeah, definitely some character.
sibling bonding time perhaps.
You mentioned you make that transition from softball and fully focusing more on basketball, other than you played a little softball in the spring. Um, Talk about that. You mentioned that transition. At that time, was it like, okay, I feel like I'm a good enough basketball player that could potentially play at the collegiate level, or did it take a little longer, just kind of work through that process and see, what your options are for basketball?
Yeah, well, honestly, when I was going into my freshman year of high school, I made like the bottom Missouri Phenom team. Like I didn't even make the top team, and so I think it honestly wasn't like a thing where I was like, oh my gosh, like I know I can play Division 1, like I'm going all in. Like it was just a thing where I was like, I kind of need to choose like what I want to do and what I want to commit to, and so I did end up just choosing basketball, but it wasn't because I was like, I know I can play Division 1 basketball. It was just because I liked it more, and then just being able to focus more time and energy towards playing every weekend and practicing more, it kind of helped help advance my game where I could play at the highest level. So I knew I had people tell me that I was like good, and I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But you don't really start to like there's no way to know until like coaches start contacting you. So yeah, I mean, I would say I like kind of knew I probably could, but there was no like, oh, I got my first offer, like I'm gonna go play. So yeah.
100%. You talk about coaches contacting. I think all of us being athletes in high school, we kind of feed for that. We get driven by those moments of like, hey, prep hoops reposted me. Prep hoops out here tweeting about me.
Oops.
You know what I'm saying? Or Recruit Looks, whoever the source was. We get to talk
You
about
get
it.
the
Talk
prep sheet
about
right
it.
up, bro. You're on a high. You get that prep
Yeah,
sheet right
man,
up.
that's
You get the
that's
tag in Twitter.
They hit you with the. I was watching Zay Dejani for SSA Elite 6'4"
Uh-huh.
guard. You start feeling good, and
Hey, top 20 on prep hoop. You get that top 20 ranking
come
too.
on.
oh, yeah.
You used to
And
be.
uh-huh. And I think all of that kind of attributes to our confidence, and obviously the work we put in as athletes helps as well. But that those moments kind of being recognized by other sources really does help. And you speak on getting that first offer, that first
Yeah.
sign of legitimacy from upper level teams, from college teams, and things like that. When did that transition start to happen for you?
Yeah, so it happened going into right after my sophomore year, so going into my junior year. No, going into my sophomore year. I can't even remember who my first offer was. I think it was St. Louis University. Um, and then I shortly after that got Missouri State, and then got UMKC, and then Creighton offered me like in the fall. So I had an injury like right before my junior season, so like my second year of AAU. So I had like one more after. So I didn't get recruited a lot through there, but I think honestly it ended up being a huge blessing because I think with maybe you get recruited by some bigger names and it makes you be like, oh, Creighton, like they're a mid-major, like whatever. But like I went on a couple visits and I saw just the culture at Creighton and everything that it embodied, and I was like, yeah, I need to go there. Like I just it felt right when everyone's like, like I really did know, and that's so corny. And like I hate when I have to like tell recruits that because I'm like, oh, and and it's like, okay, well, everyone says that, but like I truly did like feel at home here. So yeah, obviously, like when you get your first offer though, like it's just like you're like in shock. You're like 15, so you're like, oh, cool, like I get to post it on Twitter. But like I also just think like you don't really understand like how big of like a deal that is. Like get your school paid for and just get to play Division 1 sports. I mean, it's just so like weird at the time, I would say. I don't know.
Definitely. I want to give you
Man,
the chance to shout out what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, man, I remember like I think it was sophomore year. I get an email from Barry Woods University. I'm still playing JV. I'm okay, okay. Hey, I'm sending it to the JV coach. Oh, Coach Will, like I'm telling you, bro, I'm going here.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And you're
I,
like
Hey,
I
my
like Kennedy.
like
I
Want
was
to go
trying to
to
relate to you in a way, but I think it's just
five?
I'm kidding. I was trying to relate to you in a way, but I think it's just, Missouri State, Barry Woods email, Creighton off from Missouri, Barry Woods email. Took a little different journey. Zayd, I'm gonna let you continue though, bro.
Hey, mine was the Nebraska Wesleyan camp invite. That was like my
Come on.
first. I was like, yo, like am I really like that, or is this just something everyone gets?
No, you're the only one they reached out to, bro. They didn't email anybody else.
Nah, it had to be. It had to be. But yeah, Ken, I just want to give you the chance, shout out you mentioned you played for Missouri Phenom and, kind of the experience of playing. I mean, Missouri Phenom is obviously notorious for having some of the best girls in the Kansas City, Missouri area.
Yeah.
So kind of touch on that experience, getting to play with that level of talent, on the AAU circuit in high school.
Yeah, I mean, playing on the UIBL circuit, obviously you play against the best girls, and it's actually kind of fun to like keep up with them now and see like where they're playing, how they're doing, and obviously I played with a ton of great girls. I mean, I think our pretty much our whole team played Division One at some point. I think a couple of them transferred, but I mean, I think our whole team was playing Division One, which is like incredible. I mean, even just yeah, it's wild. Like you just don't even think about it at the time, but like looking back, I was like, wow, we were pretty good. Like so, my senior year, we finished like seventh at Peach Jam. So it was like we were like pretty good. So it was just a fun group to play with. And I got coached by Nick Bradford my 3 years there, and he actually coaches at Arkansas now, but he was so good for us just to like show us what it takes to play at the college level, just like pace wise and like energy and like just like IQ piece. Like he was really trying to prepare us for the next level. And I think, I mean, I commend him for really helping me just even be able to contribute when I got here. I just think that is something that was undervalued when I was there because you just didn't know how great he was. But yeah, Phenom, like the girls were great, and I think that makes the experience even better. You know, we always laugh like we go to these tournaments, all these schools are from California and like whatever, and we're like we're just these like farm girls from Missouri. They're just like, okay, we're gonna shoot a bunch of threes and hope they go in, you know. But no, we were fun to play with, and I loved my teammates, and that made it even more fun when we were like winning. You know, it just was that much more rewarding.
Yeah. Playing on a team like that on Phenom, do you feel like that definitely attributed to your decision to go into Creighton? And obviously, we'll get into the full transition here in a moment, but just that experience alone.
Yeah, and I think my coaches or my AAU coaches, like they were super great about being like, "Hey, Creighton's a great school." Like they were like trying to preach the right things. You know, they're not like, "Hey, this is a huge school. Like you can go play in a Power Four conference." Like it was more of like, "This is a great fit for you," and like they fit your playing style. Like the culture there is great, and so I think that was like another huge part of it is like it wasn't just us girls being like, oh my gosh, where are we gonna go to the biggest school, you know, like our the adults in the room were like helping us because you just don't know any different. So they're like, this is a great school, great fit, good conference, all that kind of stuff. So I think that was just as important as like playing with the good girls that I played with.
Definitely. And then when did you commit to Creighton? Was it earlier before your senior year, or was it
It was right before
later?
my junior basketball season.
Okay, nice. And
Yeah.
was it nice to kind of have that figured out, with 2 years or maybe a little less under 2 years left, have it locked into where you were going?
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice actually. I was just like, I mean, you guys know the recruiting phone calls and the deadlines and the dead
Oh
weeks.
yeah.
Like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's crazy. And personally, I just like hate that stuff, which isn't why I committed, but like I just when I was like I go here and like I was like, why wouldn't I? So yeah, it was really nice to not have to entertain a bunch of other coaches and yeah.
Definitely. I
With
think from a coach's perspective too, it like when you
Yeah.
commit earlier on, it shows like, okay, this person's serious. Like they really want to be here with us. They
Right.
want to be at Creighton. I think it does show like to the coaches too, to an extent that you're really committed to
For
their
sure.
program.
Yeah, definitely.
when going into that commitment, you make the commitment, you post it on Twitter. Everybody knows Kennedy Townsend is official
Everyone's
at
hyping you
Creighton.
up.
How does that affect your mental state now, your approach to practice, your approach to workouts and everything going into your last 2 years of high school and things like that? Like I remember watching you playing against Staley, playing against the Park Hill South, those types of games. Like how does that approach the mental state going into those games?
Yeah, I mean, even before I committed, you know, it's like, oh, they know she's like a Division 1 prospect or whatever. So like you have to carry yourself a little different, right? Like, and just when you're on a high school team, obviously a lot of those girls play other sports and they just want to go to school when they're done, and so they don't like care about it as much as you do. So like you kind of have to like bend to them a little bit because it's like, okay, they're not collegiate basketball players. They don't have like the same like mindset that you do, but at the same time, bringing like a level of intensity and just doing your best with like your situation. Like you can't really choose what high school players you play with, and so I think, yeah, you just have to show up to every game and be ready. You're gonna get people's best, especially after you commit. Oh, she's going to Creighton, like whatever, like we're gonna box in one and pick her up full court. So like, you just gotta know that that stuff's coming, and so you just kind of have to carry yourself a little different. And I would say the other thing is just like the body language piece. Like you just have to be composed, and that's like the biggest thing I'd say for me. Like, um, I'm a pretty like passionate person, and so I get like it's easy to get like amped up in the competition moment. And so I would say just like being steady and like just knowing that you're gonna get everyone's best, especially when in high school when there's not Division 1 players on every team. So
Zay,
You
you hear
guys,
she got Janice who had a math test earlier. Don't care nothing about that about Creighton.
yeah,
She's trying to
no, literally, she does not want
guard.
to be at this. She doesn't.
She's not worried about it. She just want to guard, go in the game, shoot a couple threes. Whole time
Oh,
Kennedy, like she mentioned, she's out here, getting work in at 6 a.m. And I think that just speaks to your preparation all outside of just the team element of how you approach the game and things like that. So I commend you for that, for being able to
thank
stay
you.
level headed through all of that.
definitely. Were you guys whooping up on Staley? Just beyond, just no specific reason. I was just curious.
Zayd. You don't got to do this. This is not Zayd's first time doing this.
Oh, we were
This
having a good conversation. Like we don't need to do this.
he every guest we've
I'm
had a
just
couple
curious, just out of
of
curiosity. There's
We
no
beat them
specific.
my senior year. We did lose to them my junior year, district finals, but we beat them my senior year. And we lost to them my sophomore year, actually. I forgot about that. It's
we've had
unfortunate.
we've had a couple of guests on here from the Kansas City area, or a couple of guests that have played basketball through the Kansas City area, and Zayd he always wants to ruffle the Staley guys' feathers, and hey, you
Fair
know, you
enough.
know.
Fair enough. I can't blame you.
Oh, you got to. Hey, on the men's side, y'all won't lie. You guys are tough. You guys are tough. Oh, you guys are
Oh,
tough.
oh, you
Love
know.
playing Northwest.
You're doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, hey, I was happy at Northwest show. Just getting my points average and calling it good. They didn't make a run and stay or nothing. It's
Amen,
cool.
amen, amen to that, brother. Amen.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, Kenny. So you make that commitment to Creighton. You start, kind of talked about you had some mentors, letting you know kind of about the transition to college, what
Yeah,
to expect and all that. But
for
kind of
sure.
touch on what that transition was actually like for you. Going from being a high school basketball player to being in the Big East at the Division 1 level playing collegiate basketball.
Yeah, so I'd say my transition was even a little more different than other people's. Like, so Creighton went to the Elite Eight right before I got here. So it was like, and they returned six of their like core players. So it was like, wow, like I'm coming into like a ton of talent. Like I was almost like just kind of like shell shocked at first. So no one can like actually prepare you for that moment of like what it feels like in your first college practice where you're like, these are like, wow, you can tell they've been playing college basketball. And so I would say like in the summer it was they kind of like baptized by fire here. Like they don't do a whole lot of like, oh, let's let the freshmen like catch up and like teach them and like do like training days. Like it's just like, all right, we're gonna figure it out and like you'll learn by like watching, which honestly I appreciate because I feel like I'm a relatively fast learner. So yeah, I would say the biggest transitions though are I'm sure everyone says this, the pace and the physicality and just learning to play within a system. I think Creighton has a really specific system and just learning the ins and outs of it is can be difficult at times, but once you get the hang of it and you play with the same girls for a long time, it becomes a really fun system to play in. So
Definitely. You talk about the transition, obviously, from being a senior in high school to now being a freshman in
yeah.
college. And what would you say are some of those ups and downs in the first? I'm pretty sure in Division 1, you guys go there in the summer, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was there like June 1st.
Definitely. Like Zayd and I, when we played together at Washburn. Like we always
Yeah,
make a joke of like Coach Ballard would say, when it's December, when you're December of your freshman year, you're a sophomore now. You've been here long
yeah.
enough to understand. And I think you saying being a quick learner, how was that able to aid you throughout the ups and downs? And then also like what were some things that you were still like struggling with, or like, man, this is going to take some adjusting to?
Right. I mean, I think when you're in high school, it doesn't matter how you play at practice, right? It's like, okay, whatever, like I'm gonna play the whole game. I'm just showing up. Like I'm just gonna I'm obviously gonna do my best and like try my hardest, but like if I have a bad practice, I'm just gonna like let it roll off my back, you know? But I would say playing time was pretty established when I first got to Creighton, and so I was putting a lot of pressure on myself of like, okay, how am I performing at practice? And I'm sure you guys know that can be a slippery slope of like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything right. And so I would say like that was probably a big adjustment, was just learning how to cope with like the ups and downs of like a season or just like practice too, or like I played a lot this game, I didn't play a lot this game. And so I think consistency, like your habits kind of went out in those situations, so it's like, how am I getting in the gym every day? Am I getting shots up? Am I watching extra film? Am I like talking to my coaches about what I need to be doing? And so I would say that kind of helps keep when those low moments hit, like that kind of brings you back to um a more steady place where you're not letting those low moments continue to like drag you even lower. But yeah, I would say like being a fast learner is definitely something that like in college you like need to be, right? Because if you're not, you're just going to get left behind. And I think when coming into an older team especially, it was easier to learn from them because it's like anyone you watch, like you could be learning from someone. So I just think being like a sponge when you first get to college is something that's really important. Like you need to pick up as much as you can as fast as you can if you want to make an immediate impact.
Definitely. And in your time at Creighton, when you first get there and you're there for a little bit, what do you think improved most with your game at your time there?
Yeah, I would honestly say probably hmm um
Like for me, I'd say like for me, like especially at the college level, like you got to communicate like a lot.
yeah.
Like
Come
I did
on,
not
Sophie.
notice,
Come on. Come
and
on.
I still got yelled at it for it my all throughout
Yeah,
college. But
Zay.
No, that's a really great. I mean, that's a great one. I think yeah, communication is huge. I mean, I you go from being like you don't really talk in high school. It's just like quiet hoops. Like you're just like watching. They're like you just feel like shoes squeaking and stuff. And but yeah, I mean that's like a huge one. And I think like even when you're not playing, like just trying to do those little intangible or like not playing as much as you want, like doing those like intangible things is almost more important. I would say yeah, your communication makes a huge jump. And then I would also say just like this sounds kind of stupid, but like how hard you like run. Like I think like that's something like we play a really like fast paced offense. And so like just like running the floor as hard as you can, like that gets you like so many brownie points with coaches, but also like open baskets too. So I think like just like overall pace and like Zayd, like you said, like urgency, like with your communication and like your like literally physically how hard you're playing.
definitely
I think you
ask E
guys.
about the 5-man
Hey,
running. Ask E about the
We got that rim run.
because I think you guys both touched on it perfectly. Like Zayd from the communication side of things, for me, communication was never really an issue. Like in high school, you guys know, like I played on a really good team. So what was going to be my calling card was being able to talk, being able to be a loud guy in the gym, an energy guy per se, you know?
Right.
And that's something that still has to continue throughout your college career. But then
Mhm.
also, Kennedy, you just touched on it is like the effort piece of things of like you have to literally sprint the floor. Like Zayd will tell you, you get tired of here. Come on, like run, bro. You know, where you're doing sprints and everybody's making it. Hey, everybody's making the sprints and you trying your
Hey, I'm
hardest.
running. Listen.
It's just not that fast, you know. So, but that I'm glad Zayd asked that question because it kind of leads me to this question I'm going to ask now. What are some of those sacrifices that you feel were made off of the court to prepare you to be at your best on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it earlier, but like I am someone the best part of my game is like shooting, and so like obviously being a shooter, it's like you need to be in the gym and like your shot needs to be dialed in, right? And some of that's just confidence, but the other part I was always in the gym in high school and even when I got here, I think when you get to college, like you just have so much independence, right? Like I could stay in my bed for 12 hours and like no one's going to tell me to get up. And so not that I would do that, but like I just think it's like you have to make those little sacrifices of like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't want to go shoot today. My dad's not here to rebound for me, but like I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym. Or I think for me another thing that I is like a big sacrifice is like I'm really dialed in with like my nutrition and like how I'm feeling my body, and I think that's also really reflected on I've been really healthy my 4 years here, so I've been very blessed to be very healthy, but I also think that's something that is really important is just like how you're preparing your body for practice the next day. And I think like you don't really think about that like when you're in high school or even like a freshman, but like the older I got, that became like something that was really important to me. So I'd say that's a really big sacrifice I made.
Definitely. And your nutrition, getting in that training room, definitely very important things.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you guys touched on it earlier about, going in and getting in extra shots. I don't know if you guys have this experience too, but I feel like in college, like especially when I was in college too playing, it's just like you almost got to be a little more efficient with your time. Like you got to get in the gym, but you also got to you don't have, two, 3
3 hours.
hours to go
Yeah,
there,
definitely.
just mess around. You got to go there and be efficient. Um, what were some of these times, you found yourself, were you staying after practice? Were you going before practice in the morning? Kind of what was your time you're finding yourself getting those extra shots up?
Yeah, we kind of have weird schedules because, like, I mean, we all have in-person classes, like, none of us have online classes. And so we practice at like 3 o'clock every day. But I'm definitely like a morning person. So I get up in the morning and usually shoot before class. But sometimes I'll shoot after practice, but I know myself better. And that usually is not a very productive shooting session. So I usually wake up early and just, I think it's a good like start to the day. And you can feel good going into practice too. I can kind of feel like my shot's dialed in and I'm focused going into practice. So, yeah.
Okay, Kennedy better than me, bro. If I go shoot in the morning, I'm only thinking when I go to class, ain't nobody else in this class shoot today. I'm the only one who got up today and shot. Y'all all bums. See, she got a better outlook on this
Oh,
basketball team than I do.
fair enough. I mean, whatever gets you there. I mean, it sounds like you were there yesterday, so.
After
Um,
practice.
you said what, champ?
I was an after practice guy. I was an after practice.
Oh yeah, get a little 20 in, just a little 20 in.
Yeah, just a quick, every spot.
He's watching you from the office, bro. So make sure
That's
you
why
get
you I see. Yeah.
Just
being in obviously the Big East, this is one of the toughest women's Division One conferences that there is to offer. Playing against like the likes of UConn, St. John's, Seton Hall, all of those teams. What does that competitiveness feel like? I think for us, we always talk about like playing in the MIAA. Like this is
Yeah.
some of the toughest basketball you play. What would you say describes Big East women's basketball?
I would say I would say like it's very like passionate, I would say. Like I think all the girls there are like very they really like their schools and we have a lot of girls. We have a lot of retention in our conference, which is great for like the conference and just like rivalries in general. Obviously you have some teams who have more turnover than others, but I would say like we like really take a lot of pride in like our conference. Like I think obviously we have UConn at our top of our conference, so it's like okay, they're really good. But then like the bottom of our or like the others of our conference, like it's a dogfight like day in and day out. Like I think we have a lot of like inter team or like inter conference rivals, and I just think that just shows that we obviously we have UConn and makes our conference maybe not look as strong, but I think like the bottom part of our conference really is like strong, and I think we have a lot of girls who like show up and compete, and I think the coaches have been there forever too, which honestly makes it even more fun because it's like they all know their scouts and like what they're running and like they've been doing it for 15 years, so it like makes it even more fun when you get in conference, because everyone knows each other that much more.
Yeah, you touch on that. It reminds me of like the kind of for our side, like the Northwest of, I don't know if you were familiar with
Yeah,
Northwest of
yeah,
Bearcats, but they ran the show for 12 years, like for 12, 14, 15 years, just every year, just getting guys up out of there. So it's
yeah,
like, but it kind of gets an overlook on the conference of how tough teams
yeah,
actually are. Like Zay,
definitely.
you can't sleep on Newman. Newman might
Hey,
come in and thump you real quick.
Tuesday. You never know.
You might, hey,
Oh
slide the
man.
watches. They might get you.
Definitely. As a college athlete, you're obviously, on the road constantly, having to take care of your body, get shots up. How did you feel like you did in college, balancing academics, sports, and also, having a social life, which is super important in college as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would say having a good balance of like friends, right? Like you want to have your friends around the basketball team, but then you also have some friends who are just like regular students or like on different sports teams. I think that's kind of like something that's really fun, just like social life wise. I think you obviously do everything with your teammates and like you live with your teammates. And so it's kind of fun for a little like change of people you're talking to, especially during season, right? Because you're spending like literally every waking moment with each other. But just traveling in the Big East, like, I mean, we're the most central like team. All the other teams are on literally the East Coast except for Marquette and DePaul. So it's like I would say my biggest like life hack was studying on the planes. Like I anytime we got on a plane, like some of my teammates were like watching Netflix or like scrolling on TikTok and like I was locked in, like headphones in, no one talks to Kennedy when we're on the like flights. So I think that's like something that really helped me stay on top of my schoolwork just because like I mean, what else was I gonna do? Watch TV? Like it's fine. Like I'll just lock in quick. So I think like that was something that really helped me stay on top of my schoolwork. But I mean, I would say the other part that I learned as I got older was like, yeah, basketball's serious. And like obviously you take it very seriously, but it's not everything. And so just finding time to do other things that kind of make you happy, especially during season. Like season's long, it's the longest season. Like even there's times like you're here by yourself, like there's no one else on campus. And so I would say just taking time to like feel the part of you that's not a basketball player too.
What were some of your I want to say your favorite memory? What were some of your favorite memories at Creighton on the court and off the court?
Okay. Um, let's see. Every Big East tournament we play at a casino and like you don't leave the casino. Like it's like everything is like indoors. And so like that is always just like a really fun like thing to do with like the team. Like it's just oh, I love that place. Mohegan Sun, shout out the gamblers. It's kind of crazy actually. It's like wild. My parents are like going crazy on the blackjack tables. I'm like, what is happening here?
That's what I was about to say. Did you hop on? You have to hop on the
It
blackjack
was
table.
only year, but I did win some money. So
Okay.
that was a win. But yeah, I would say that was always really fun just because you're like cooped up inside with all of your teammates and there's nothing to do but like watch film and get shots up. I don't know. It was just kind of like a weird like you're in a time warp. I don't know how to explain it. And then I would also say man, just like every road trip. Like I just yeah, there's so many like you guys know there's just so many like little things that happen on like the planes and like I can remember like just the charters back like after a win like oh my gosh the pure like relief that we won and we're not sitting on this charter for 5 hours after a loss like I could just oh my gosh there's just so many fun times I'm trying to think of uh, so there was one time we played at Wyoming my sophomore year and this was like actually a bad story turned good so like we got stuck so we had to fly into Denver and drive to Wyoming, and we get stuck like 5 minutes from the hotel in this like one area where we don't have any service. We're stuck there for 3 hours with no service. Nobody's phone works. We're stuck on this bus, and it's like blizzarding, and like I don't know. It's like one of those moments like in at the time we're like, oh my gosh, get me off this bus. But we were just like playing stupid games and like being dumb, and it was just like obviously in the moment we were like, wow, this sucks. But looking back, I'm like, that was so like fun, and like I just those are the times that you like, you're like, oh my gosh, this sucks, but like you're gonna miss those like moments, you know?
No,
Kennedy, are
def.
you? I know you said you're not a big TV show watcher, but have you ever seen the show The Office?
I've seen parts of episodes.
There's a quote in The Office where he says, is there any way to figure out you're in the good old days without leaving them?" And that
Exactly.
story kind of reminds me of that quote right there.
Yeah.
Why don't you, champ, you go ahead and clip that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Hey, that was funny. I
That
was
was
about to drop a quote. I don't know if you guys seen the Boston College
Why you
basketball.
gonna drop quote after I drop quote? How you gonna drop quote after I drop quote?
Hey, I was just thinking about that when she was saying that too. Like, there's like a clip of a Boston College basketball player. He's like,
yeah.
what did you
Oh,
miss?
at the art match yeah, March Madness, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, just going out to eat. And
Yeah.
honestly, like he was getting trolled for it, but like it's real. Like honestly, it's
Plays like you know that's the right answer. Like you
oh
just know.
yeah. No, the locker rooms, just the traveling. Not after a loss. After the
Oh,
loss, that
Hey,
wasn't very fun.
sometimes
But
after a loss, you be kind of like,
trauma bonding on the back of the you're like whispering in the back of the bus.
hey, you can only be mad so long. You can only be mad
You
like
can, you really can.
coach will be sick for days, but like it's like
Kid
eventually,
life.
it's like, it is what it is. Um, kind of from a broader perspective right now, I feel like girls basketball, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, has
Yeah.
really got more notoriety, a lot more eyes on the sport, through the likes of Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
Angel Reese, Juju, oh, help me out, Juju Watkins, my apologies.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
oh,
what's
that's
your
a
what's your favorite thing right now about where women's basketball is headed as a sport?
That's a good question. I feel like I get this question a lot because I think it is such like a trending like thing. What I like the most about where women's basketball is headed is I like just the publicity that we're getting, and I feel like it's mostly like positive. I feel like in the past it's kind of like, oh, if we get publicity, it's because it's like a more like negative light publicity. But I think like people like Paige and Caitlin, like people will like turn their TVs on to like watch that. Like, I mean, shoot, like I would, and I know I like played against them, so it's like a little different. But I just think like the level of play is really elevating, especially with players like that, and I think it makes it more entertaining to watch. And I just think also with the age of NIL and people just being able to be noticed more in college also helps with that. Like UConn obviously has a huge fan base, and so like they follow Paige from UConn um to the Dallas Wings, and same with Caitlin Clark. I just think that the social media has its downfalls, but I think that's one thing that it's really helped our game. Just getting names out there and getting more viewership, I just think is, and obviously like this sounds kind of dumb, but gambling, like I think that is like huge for the sport, and I think, I mean, it's probably they probably don't appreciate it sometimes, but I think people will turn on like a Caitlin Clark game and pick like the over on threes. Like I just think that's something that um any like publicity that we can get is something that's really elevates our game. So
Hey, now with you graduating, I think you're official now. You can officially
I might be. I might be.
you can
Hey,
officially
you know,
no.
I'm not saying that I am a gambler. I'm not saying that at all.
Because
But
that's illegal.
it
Don't
is
don't.
but I like Caitlin Clark's assist. I like Caitlin Clark's assist on the over. If anybody's taking, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm a gambler, but not on
Oh,
threes, but assists. I want to ask you this too before we obviously transition into some other topics of conversation. Who would you say was one of the tougher matchups, or somebody that you were like not losing sleep over, but you were like, man, I cannot wait to have this matchup tomorrow.
yeah. Obviously, anytime you play UConn and like Paige, she's insane. And then it's like just when Paige graduates, it's like Sarah Strong comes along, and it's like, oh my gosh, like how are we gonna guard her? Like she's incredible. And then obviously, I mean, you can go down the list of UConn players like AZ Fudd, number one draft pick, Paige, number one draft pick. Um, Looking at other like Brooklyn Meyer from South Dakota State, like she is a beast. Like she's so good. Post player, and I think she was mid major player of the year actually. Like she's always a tough matchup for us. And then there's always in conference, but we also played. So Anissa Morrow, she plays for the Connecticut Sun now. She used to play at DePaul, and she played there my freshman, maybe my sophomore year. Like she was really really good too. So Maddie Siegrist, another WNBA player. So yeah, I've looking back on all the like number one draft picks that we played is kind of crazy. And we played UCLA 2 years in a row. So like Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, like oh my gosh, there, you can just go down the list, man. There's played some really really good players, but I'd say the one that like sticks out the most though is like Paige. It's like there's some stuff that she does, or even Sarah Strong. It's like there's some stuff they do. I'm like, yeah, you're just really good at basketball.
It get like that for real.
Like, oh.
For for you personally, what are some of the goals? We kind of talked off the pod before a little bit, but what are some of the goals that you have personally after your Creighton career transitioning into or per se life? I guess
Yeah. No, so a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm actually an accounting major. So I am graduating in obviously next Saturday. So I'm really excited about that. And I actually have aspirations to get my CPA, which is like a certified public accountant. So I'm actually going to take some classes while I go play overseas. So I'll rewind a little bit. So this summer I'm doing an accounting internship where I'll just kind of learn a little bit about. That's actually a company that does Creighton's taxes, so it'll be just kind of a good way to kind of get my feet wet and decide that I don't probably want to work a 9 to 5 yet, and tell me why I want to go play overseas. So then in August, I'm gonna go play overseas. Unsure of what country yet, but I'll kind of work towards that in the next couple weeks. And then, yeah, I'm going to take some classes while I'm over there because you have to have 150 hours to take your CPA. So I'm not quite there. I'm at like 134. So I'll probably get like my master's in accounting while I'm over there. And then I'll take my CPA next summer.
That's awesome. Good for you. First of
really
all,
well.
congrats on graduating. We're all we talked about the beginning of the podcast. That gives a little snaps. Everyone's graduating this week. Did you graduate already, or when do you walk?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, yeah, I'm
You
Friday.
guys graduate already?
I'm
Yeah,
Friday.
Oh,
I think
nice.
E already graduated.
this
Nice.
past
Um,
week. Yeah.
Making, we've talked with a lot of people, like different athletes that come on our podcast and make that transition. Obviously, you're still gonna be playing overseas and stuff, but what do you think are some of those skills and attributes of yourself that transition, into your
Yeah,
summer internship or when the basketball stops bouncing? What do you
yeah,
see some of those skills from being a collegiate basketball player
yeah.
transferring over to the work world?
Obviously, time management, I think, is a big one. Like you're gonna have a lot more time on your hands. I would say the other thing is just like working hard. I mean, that sounds really stupid, but I think my mom is in like corporate America, and I just think that um it's a lot less common than you would think. In basketball you learn how to work hard. Like if you don't work hard, you're probably not going to make it very far. And so I would say that's like a big one for me is just maybe you don't know exactly what you're doing. Like in my internship, I'm getting my feet wet. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, right. But I also think that you're gonna like learn to figure it out, and that's something that like I always know like I may not know exactly what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. So I just think that also like self-confidence that you kind of have to have playing sports also can make you be a really great employee.
Transitioning a little bit from the basketball space and what you're doing this summer and things like that. What are some of those hobbies? We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in the pod, but what are some of those hobbies and passions you may have off of the court and things like that?
Yeah, this is a crazy one. I actually started making sourdough this year, so I make sourdough from scratch. Yeah, that's a big one. It's
Well, listeners, can you describe what exactly is just like the bread, or is that?
Yeah, no,
That's,
yeah, it's just the bread. I just make it from scratch. My starter's over there on the counter. Yeah.
okay.
So you just kind of have to perfect the recipe. And I make bread from scratch and bagels and yeah. So that's a new one. I don't know really why I started doing that, but it's really good. Let's see. I also do a lot of like reading in my free time, which is also a little and tanning. That's a big one. I like to tan.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And you talk about earlier your personality on the court. You said you're super competitive,
Yeah.
How do you feel like your personality on the court differs from your personality off the court?
It's actually funny. Like my parent or not my parents, my teammates say I'm like two different people. Like on the court, basketball wise, like I'm very like type A. Like I get to the gym early and I get extra shots up and I'm like very organized. But it's kind of funny. Like off the court, I'm a little like different. I'm a little more loose and like I'm not super uptight about stuff. And it probably drives some of my teammates crazy. But like I'm more of a free spirit. Like off the court, I would say I just really like to enjoy life and I don't take a lot of things really too seriously. I take school and basketball very seriously, and then outside of that I'm pretty like laid back. So, but if you obviously I'm also a pretty like high energy person and I like being around people and talking to people. And so I think that's really boded well for me and in terms of just how I interact with my teammates and how I can be a leader for them, on the court and off the court, just being someone that they can talk to about life, basketball, all those things. And it also makes you able to like hold them accountable more too when it's needed on the court. So
Definitely.
Definitely.
Enjoy life and make some sourdough.
yes, exactly.
Well, listen, if you want some, you need some bagel or whatever, make sure you tap
Yes,
in.
Get
exactly.
your
And it
bread
goes
from
back
Ken, man. Get your bread.
it's pretty good. I won't lie. I made it for people for my senior night. It's pretty good.
All right, you heard it here first. You heard it here
Yeah.
first.
I think we touched on this a little bit earlier too, with like being an athlete, you're obviously going to be around your teammates a lot. You're going to do
Yeah.
travel, meals, practice, a lot of everything with them. And you spoke a little bit about the relationships that you built outside of your team at Creighton, just with other athletes,
Yeah.
students in the classroom, and things like that. But who are some like what personality traits or what characteristics do you look for in the people that you really do like to surround yourself with in terms of like close circle?
Yeah, I would say like obviously high achieving people, right? I mean, that's just like the kind of people that I feel like you're naturally drawn to. And then when I look at all my friends, I would say all of them are really like caring people. And I think they're very selfless. So that obviously makes for a really great friendship when you feel like they're just as involved in the friendship as you are. And just looking at my teammates, like it's a very vague term, but like great people. And I think that makes friendships really easy. And like that's the good thing about Creighton is like we carry small rosters and we know we do, but we are very selective with the people that we have, which makes you have your best friends, which is the best part. So I would say all my friends are very high achieving. They obviously care about you a ton, and yeah, just at the end of the day, they just have your best interest at heart, you know. So I think that's simple, but probably the most important thing that you could want in a friendship.
I think
Hey,
it.
little baby said it. Circle got smaller. Everyone can't go. It's
Come
not
on,
like it's not like that. Little baby said it.
Kennedy, you touched on it great. I think it speaks to your character of like you said you like just naturally like you're naturally drawn to stick around high achieving people or want to be around high achieving people, but it's not common that most people say that because if
Yeah,
you're a dingus, like you surround yourself with dinguses, like but you don't
yeah,
know you're a dingus. So like I don't know.
yeah.
I think it speaks a lot to what you were saying in terms of surrounding yourself with people that can not only encourage you but hold you
Hmm.
accountable to your goals and what
For
you
sure.
looking to achieve in life. So yeah.
I gotta ask you. We had a little, we talked off camera a little bit about,
Yeah.
you got a country. You like country music.
Yes.
That
I do.
is that the? Hey, I'm not a hater. I'll make that clear first. I'm not a country hater. I'm
You
just
don't
not
gotta
a
you don't gotta flex for him now. You don't gotta flex for him now, champ.
I'm not a regular listener. But just let the audience know what music are you listening to while you're studying, or just let's say in college, on the road. What kind of music are you listening to?
You know, one thing I need a variety. Like I'm not like oh I only listen to country. Like I need all the genres. And this is kind of crazy, but I think the weather really depends on what kind of music I'm listening to,
That's
and
not
that's
crazy to say
something.
that. That's not crazy to say that.
I don't think that's
Okay.
crazy at
That's
all.
not crazy to say that.
So yeah, I listen to country music. I will work out to country music, hot take. But I'm also more my vibe. I like SZA, Summer Walker, Drake. Like I like slower, like kind of R&B stuff. And then obviously I like throwback music too. So I really truly do like all music. Like I think it's something that is like fun and kind of like unites people. Or like you can like literally know nothing about each other and like you're like, "Oh, do you like country music?" And then you can talk about that for 15 minutes. I just think it's kind of fun to like have a big variety of music. So I just kind of listen to whatever.
Do you have a obviously you just said you listen to a lot of whatever, but do you have one particular genre that you're like drawn to? Would you say that it is country or would you say it's again whatever, the vibe?
That's a hard question. I would say I probably know the most country music, but I do listen to a lot of like slower R&B. Like I probably listen, I have the best slow R&B playlist apparently on the team. All my coaches use it for pre-practice, so I take a lot of pride in that.
Okay. So you got the ox.
Do we
Yes.
get a do we who is your top three? If we were to go top three slow R&B artist and then top three country artists. For and
Ooh.
country more so for Zayd, so we can help, maybe after the
Okay,
pod
it's
he
not
throws
country.
Big X the plug country is Big X the plug.
I song with Morgan Wallen, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, his song. I won't lie. That was a good country song.
Hey, you got Lil Durk with Broadway Girls, Morgan Wallen. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
Okay,
one.
let's see. My top three country. I'm gonna have to go John Party. I want to say Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, but those are so like basic that I don't want to say those, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna say I am gonna go Morgan Wallen because he's very like got a good variety. And then right now I'm gonna go Ty Myers. And then R&B, I'm gonna go Drake, obviously. SZA, Summer Walker. Ooh, wait, no, hold on. Drake, SZA, Kalani. Sorry. Oh, that's hard. That's a hard one. Yeah. Honorable
Oh,
mention. Sorry, had
do you
to.
listen to any Treaty Oak Revival?
Yes.
Throw Treaty Oak Revival in there just for the podcast sake.
Honorable
Zay,
mention. Yoke Revival.
hey, tap into Treaty Oak, bro.
You
I'm
guys are
telling you.
dropping some names. I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna have to
It's
go do my research after the pod. I'm gonna have to go do my research.
oh man.
Kenny, that right now, at this point in your life, this might be a little question that makes you think a little bit. What does success look for you right now? at this point in your life? Is it, having a stable, friends and family around you? Is it success in basketball? Is it success in the work world? What kind of does success look for you right now in life?
That's a great question. I would say success is obviously we're young and I feel like there's a lot of pressure on people to be like, oh, I need a really stable job and like I need to have my life figured out. But like I would say at this point in my life, like being successful is like being like rich in life. It's like I have really good friends, I have a great family, and I know like I'm working out and I'm doing all these things that I like love to do. Like I'm gonna go play professional basketball. Like I don't know how I could wake up and like hate my life. Like I'm like living everyone's dream. And so I would also say just like um living my life like faithfully. Like I'm a Christian and I go to church, and I think like that's something that also is something that like defines success for me, is just like living for Jesus, and like I think that's something that is really important for me too.
Success is defined by your consistency and your disciplines. That's not a me quote. I took that
Yeah, I was gonna say that was pretty deep. That was good.
from somebody, but it is applicable and it is being applied. So if you're listening to this, carry on. But this next segment, I call it a segment because it's a little less about thinking and a little bit more so about answering.
Okay.
What we have here for you is called the easy choice. As we continue,
Okay.
as we continue to grow and become a more, what do I want to say, more influential podcast. We're still growing, but we're going to have a big sign or a big hoorah or whatever that says the easy choice. But basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to provide you with a list of questions and just make it
Okay.
easy.
Okay.
What we have here for you, first question is NBA Finals courtside seats or a Super Bowl suite?
Courtside seats.
Home games or away games?
Away games.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Which is a screen maxer. If you are you already touched on this earlier, but if you had to choose early morning workouts or late night workouts?
You can't beat a good late night workout, but I'd say more consistently, I'm early mornings.
Nikes or Adidas?
Nike.
Are we going Chipotle or Chick-fil-A?
Chipotle.
That's not crazy to say that.
Okay.
If we're trying to reach Kennedy, somebody's trying to reach Kennedy, are we texting or FaceTime?
Either one. FaceTime
Either-
probably.
Gotcha. Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
A beach vacation or a cabin trip?
Ooh. Where's this cabin at? Like in the woods?
Set it up for us, Zaid. Where's the cabin at?
We're looking at Colorado, the mountains in Colorado. We're getting a nice summer trip out to Colorado in a cabin. Let's say
Uh, I
Breckenridge.
don't know if it's because
Out in
I don't know if it's
Cancun on the
a
beach.
beach trip coming up, but I'm gonna go cabin.
Okay.
Are we going private chef or personal driver?
Personal driver.
And last question we have for you is, would you rather drop 30 points or hit the game winner?
Ooh. Game winner. Definitely.
And that was the easy choice with Kennedy
All right.
Townsend.
Fair enough.
We appreciate you participating on the.
Hey, of course. Thanks for having me on.
You could left me solo on the snaps. Come on, Zay. I'm solo on the snaps.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. So Kennedy, obviously we've all played collegiate basketball, and we just had to come on here and ask you this one question. We're
Okay.
debating whether or not to ask you it, but we had to get some clarity in the air about this question and make sure and let's just get your opinion on it, right?
Okay.
Do you think at this moment right now, could you beat one of the hosts right now in a 1v1?
I don't know where I thought that question was going, but that wasn't it. I This is so funny. I actually just saw someone in high school be like, I could be LeBron and I could be Anthony Edwards. And I was like, wow, you look like an idiot. So like I'm very cautiously
Hey, you don't have to be humble. You don't have to be humble.
I think if I started shooting well, I could win. I think that's fair to say.
That's not fair. That's not crazy.
Hit some shots. It's not
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm gonna have to shoot well. It's the defense part that's gonna really not do well for me. But I think I could. On a Things would have to go right for me, but I could.
That's a
I
humble
think that's fair to
that's
say.
a
That's
humble
a humble response. I think that was a good response.
that's a humble way to answer that question. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
even.
definitely.
Couple more questions for you, Kennedy, and we'll let you get off of here.
Sure.
But what's
Okay.
one message you would want to give to young female athletes in Kansas City or Omaha? Just what's something that you want to leave with them or
Yeah.
be able to encourage them in some way?
I would say the biggest thing is just like believe in yourself and put your head down and work hard, and good things will happen. Usually, when you do things the right way and you work hard, good things happen to those people. And so, yeah, I would just say that this is the biggest thing is like believing in yourself, and it's like it's okay to be like weird or like outside the norm. I think girls, especially high school girls, are mean, and it's like crazy. It's a crazy world out there. But like, I think it's good to be different, and I think chasing your dreams doesn't make you weird. It makes you like it's a great thing to do, and it makes you feel accomplished and it brings you like a sense of joy. So say just be confident, believe in yourself, and go after it.
Hey, that's clip worthy right there. That's gonna make a great clip.
Okay, that's good.
We're on the same page on the snaps because I was thinking about it, but the last time I was a little traumatized. So
I had to find the right acknowledgement. Snaps felt, we've been
Okay.
snapping a lot this episode, but it just
I'm
felt
rolling.
right there.
I'm rolling.
Kenny, our last question for you. We kind of started a new thing we ask every guest that comes on to the Easy Convo. Who would you like to see next on the podcast that you feel like you would tune into and be interested in hearing their story?
Okay.
You can take a sec too. You can take a sec.
Yeah, good question. Um, I want to hear Samaya Nichols' story. She plays at Kansas.
It's Maya Nichols.
Can help you guys out. She's
Hey, if you can help set that up, we'd love to have her on. That'd be fun. Did she
great.
play Missouri Phenom with you?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's great. She would be good.
Okay. Hey, let's make it happen. That's
All right. All right. I may have just nominated her for something she wasn't aware of, but sorry, Smile, if you don't want to.
Definitely. E, do you got any more questions for Kennedy today?
Nah, man, as always, Kennedy, we appreciate you for joining us today, for being open and taking the step to being our first female guest to step onto the Easy Convo and lay the foundation,
I think the bar set high.
a very, very high bar.
I'm glad.
So
I think
we
the bar
appreciate you for that, and obviously wish you continued success and blessings on
Thank
your
you.
journey.
Definitely,
Thank
yeah. And I'll kind of second what E said too. Just we hope this was a easy conversation for you. And yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and it was cool
Yeah,
hearing
of
your
course.
journey. And wish the best to you, and continued success.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
definitely, yeah. For everyone else listening, we appreciate you listening to the Easy Convo. Make sure you like, comment, and share. See you guys next time. Appreciate it, Kennedy.
Yeah, of course.